Hello and welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G, and we are in Baltimore, Maryland, where we are going to be seeing some severe thunderstorms throughout the mid-Atlantic into parts of the Northeast today, as our storm system has made it all the way to the eastern seaboard. So we're going to be seeing severe thunderstorms from about New Jersey southward through the DC area, North Carolina, and through South Carolina and parts of Georgia. We're going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms. There'll be a little bit of break in the action from West Florida and through Mississippi, but then it'll pick up again along the Gulf Coast through Louisiana and Texas, where we're going to be seeing heavy rain possible with thunderstorms over in that area as we have our trailing cold front associated with that very powerful area of low pressure that moved through the Midwest and the Great Lakes and is now traversing through southeastern Ontario, Canada right now, and is spreading all of its wintry precipitation out that way, and those folks can have it. So that is a good thing. We missed out on the snow in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities at least, in southern Minnesota. This go around, we just saw a few flurries last night. Other than that, no measurable snow. A very cold day today across the upper Midwest and parts of the eastern United States. But let's jump into our maps now as we take a look at our forecast. And again, before we do so, a little bit of channel stuff here. Leave a like, comment. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you can get those notifications whenever I post a new forecast. So let's jump into our maps and talk about that weather forecast. All right, now it's time to work our weather maps and take a look at what's going on out there as we take a look at our current temperatures across the U.S. right now. It's still very cold out to the west. You can see those 40s over my shoulder in the Pacific Northwest and those 30s and 20s as well along the Canadian border up there. Look at those single digits up there across the northern plains of the Dakotas. We're seeing those single digits. Teens up in northern Minnesota, but we are looking at the 20s down here in the south, and we're seeing 20s throughout much of the Midwest and 30s as well. Those temperatures have gotten all the way down into the 40s across parts of the Appalachian mountain range. We're seeing it quite cold across the Appalachians, but it's still warm along the eastern seaboard because our cold front has not passed through those areas yet. So this is where our moisture is and our thunderstorms and severe weather. Let's take a look at our next map as we are going to be talking about those dew points. That is the moisture in the atmosphere. We're seeing those dew points in the 70s down across the southeast, and we're seeing those 60s through into the mid-Atlantic and the 40s and 50s into parts of the Northeast. We're going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms all the way up to this area right about here. That is New Jersey and Delaware. We're going to be seeing a slight risk for some severe weather, and we're going to be seeing those showers and severe thunderstorms all the way down the southeastern seaboard into Florida and through parts of the Gulf Coast, where we're going to be seeing some very heavy rainfall as we have a weak disturbance in the atmosphere down to the south along the tail end of our cold front, and that is going to spark some heavy rain down across the Gulf Coast. And we're going to be looking at our winds across the Great Lakes. Now, these are northerly winds and northwest winds on the backside of our area of low pressure. We're seeing those gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour, so a very breezy day across the Great Lakes. And we're seeing a little bit of downsloping wind coming off of the Rockies. This is coming off of the mountains down into the plains. And we got some winds down to the south across the state of Texas and through parts of the deep south as we have a weak area of low pressure down that way that is providing some thunderstorms and some rain showers today. And here we are as we look at our severe weather threat for this afternoon and into the evening, and that is going to be through the mid-Atlantic states. Washington, D.C., right in this area here, Richmond, Virginia, and into parts of New Jersey up there. We're going to be seeing our slight risk for those severe thunderstorms. Tornadoes are not going to be a main threat, but they're always going to be possible with a severe storm. But our primary threat is going to be damaging winds today, and some small hail could also be possible. And we could be seeing some brief, heavy downpours that could lead to some flooding issues. But we're going to be seeing that potential for that severe weather through the mid-Atlantic states and down into parts of northern North Carolina today. We could be seeing that severe weather. And we're going to be seeing those showers on the radar right here. We're seeing those showers through the mid-Atlantic states and near the nation's capital, approaching D.C. We're seeing those rain showers and thunderstorms. There are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in place, but no tornado issues at this time. And we are going to be approaching, well, we are in our busiest time of the year for tornadoes. The months of April, May, and June is when we see over 200 tornadoes per month, almost 300 tornadoes for for the month of May, and our bullseye areas is Oklahoma and North Texas. That's where we always see very large tornadoes. Typically in May, we all remember the El Reno tornado back in 2013. We've had several years where large tornadoes have struck in Moore, Oklahoma, or Midwest City, Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City. We have multiple years of EF5 tornadoes affecting those regions. So we typically see very large tornadoes across North Texas and central Oklahoma in the month of April and into May. So that is a look at our tornado situation as we move into our busy time of the year. Our next storm is going to be on the Pacific Northwest. This is going to be heading up into Canada, so Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba. This system will affect, it will have a trailing cold front that will sweep across the northern plains, the upper Mississippi River Valley, and the Great Lakes, and through parts of the central plains. But that's just going to be rain showers and some thunderstorms. No severe weather really expected with that, but we'll see some light rain showers and much milder weather conditions as well. We're going to see temperatures rise into the 70s across the Midwest this week and into the Great Lakes. We're going to be seeing a cold day today, but after today, tomorrow we will see temperatures in the 50s here across the northern plains, but 60s and 70s through the weekend and into much of next week. So a much warmer week is on tap. That doesn't mean that cold air can't come back or cooler air, but I think we're done with those 30s. I think we're done with that. I think it's safe to say that we've turned that corner into spring. Now, I can't say that we won't have cool spells, but we won't be seeing that kind of cold anymore through the remainder of this season. So again, that showery weather down across the southeast with that stationary front, that weak area of low pressure or an impulse in the atmosphere will remain across the southeast. So we will see showers and some thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast and the southeastern seaboard and Florida. And we're going to be seeing a weak area of precipitate, low pressure, a trough of low pressure here across the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest. On Saturday this weekend, that's going to bring some light showers to that area. No snow expected, but light precipitation totals. And we have our western storm over the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be rain to Portland and Seattle, down along the coastal valleys. And we're going to be seeing some light snow in the Cascade Mountain Range and some snow across the northern Rockies and the high plains of Montana and into Wyoming as well. But much milder weather conditions across the northern plains of the Dakotas and through the central and southern plains, where it will be much warmer down in Texas and the desert Southwest. LA, Phoenix, Tucson, Albuquerque. We're going to start to see those temperatures approach those 80s and 90s down across the Southwest, as I think California is probably going to be done with the atmospheric rivers for the remainder of this season, and your typical summer, spring dryness starts to kick in. As much as that winter was wonderful, it was a record snowpack in California. It was a miracle to get all of that snow, moisture-laden snow. Wonderful. I'm sorry to say that's only temporary. I mean, that's not going to last. That's not going to last. So that it was beneficial. It will be great for the crops. It was great for the water supply down in the south. in Southern California and Arizona, but that is only temporary. So I think the drought conditions will return eventually to the desert Southwest. That's kind of the new normal for that area, to have semi-dry air or dry, very dry drought conditions continue. So I think it will come back. Even with the El Nino developing, we will have an El Nino developing. We will have to see how strong it is. We had a very strong La Nina for the last 2 winters. That has since faded. Now we have a developing El Nino. It appears to be a moderate El Nino. So we'll keep an eye on the development of El Nino and what that's going to look like into next winter, because typically El Nino brings wetter conditions to California and Southern California and down across the southern areas here through Texas and along the Gulf Coast. El Nino tends to bring cooler weather, and it also tends to bring warmer weather to the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. So we'll have to see how all of that pans out, and if those signals don't get crossed and those typical things we see come to pass. So that is a look at your weather forecast. My name is Mr. G. Thanks for watching me today. Leave your likes, comments, and feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. I might not do one tomorrow since the weather's going to be quiet for the most part, other than a little bit of rain across the Pacific Northwest. But most of the country we won't be seeing any severe weather tomorrow, so I may take a day off from the video and let this all sink in, our period of nice weather, and spend the day with my wife. So thanks for watching, guys. See you all in the next video. Bye-bye.